Hello students, welcome to the 15th session of Tools and Methods Used in Cybercrime. In this session, we will study attacks on wireless network. When people travel, they still need to work. Work seems to be moving out of the traditional offices into homes, hotels, airport, and taxis. The employees is no longer tied on office location. Now we are in the era of computing anywhere, anytime, and there is no doubt that workforce for mobility is on the rise part of the world. Now we will see the different types of mobile workers. In that, the first one is remote worker. This is considered to be an employee who generally remains at a single point of work but is remote to the central company system. This includes home workers, branch workers, etc. Second one, roaming user. This is either an employee who works in an environment, for example, warehouses, shop, floor, etc., or in multiple areas, for example, meeting area. Third one, nomad. This category covers employees requiring solution in hotel rooms and other semi-environment where modern use is still prevalent, along with the increased use of multiple wireless technology and devices. Fourth one, road warriors. This is the ultimate mobile user and spends little time in the office. However, he requires regular access to data and functionality while on the move, in transit or in hotels. This type includes the sales and field forces. So basically these types of workers work on the sales and field areas. Modem, routers, hubs, firewall, these are the integral part of the wired network as well as wireless network. Now we will see components of wireless network. In that, first one is 802.11 networking standard. Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, that is IEEE 802.11 is a family of standard for wireless local area networks, that is WLAN, stating the specification and requirements for computer communication in the 2.4, 3.6 and 5 gigahertz frequency bands. Now we will see the different versions of 802.11. In that, first one is 802.11. It is applicable to VLANs and provide 1 or 2 Mbps transmission in the 2.4 gigahertz. The next version, that is 802.11a. It provides 54 Mbps transmission in the 5 gigahertz. Next, 802.11b. It provides 11 Mbps transmission in the 2.4 gigahertz. Next one, 802.11g It provides 54 Mbps transmission in the 2.4 GHz band. Next one, 802.11n. It is the newest standard available widely and uses multiple input, multiple output, that is MIMO, that enables to improve the speed and range significantly. Next one, 802.15. This standard is used for personal VLANs and covers a very short range. Hence, it is used for Bluetooth technologies. Next one, 802.16. It is also known as WiMAX. It combines the benefits of broadband and wireless. Hence, it provides high-speed wireless internet over very long distance and provides access to large areas such as cities. The second component is access point. It is also termed as AP. It is a hardware device or software that acts as a central transmitter and receives of VLAN radio signals. Users of wireless devices such as laptops get connected with these APs, which in turn get connected with the wired LAN. And AP acts as a communication hub for users to connect with the wired LAN. The third component is Wi-Fi hotspots. A hotspot is a site that offers the internet access by using Wi-Fi technology over WLAN. Hotspots are found in public areas such as coffee shops, public libraries, hotels and restaurants, etc. In that, the first one is free Wi-Fi hotspot. Wireless network service is offered in public areas free of cost, and that too without any authentication. The users will have to enable the wireless on their device, search for such hotspot and will have to say connect. The internet facility is made available to the user. And the second one is commercial hotspot. The users are redirected to authentication and online payment to available the wireless internet service in public area. The payment can be made using credit, debit card through payment gateways. Fourth one, service set identifier, that is SSID. It is the name of 802.11i WLAN, and all wireless devices on a WLAN must use the same SSID to communicate with each other. While setting up WLAN, the user sets the SSID, which can be up to 32 characters long, so that only the users who knew the SSID will be able to connect the WLAN. Next one, wired equivalent privacy. WEP was introduced as part of the original 802.11i protocol in 1997. Next one, Wi-Fi protected access, that is WPA or WPA2. During 2001, serious weakness in WEP was identified that resulted WEP cracking software being made available to enable cyber criminals to introduce into WLANs. WPA was introduced as an interim standard to replace WEP to improve upon the security features available in WEP. The seventh one is Media Access Control, also called as MAC. It is a unique identifier of each node of the network, and it is assigned by the manufacturer of a network interface card stored in the hardware. MAC address filtering allows only the devices with specific MAC address to access the network. The router should be configured stating which address are allowed to connect to the MAC. So that's it for today's session. In next session, we will study traditional techniques of attacks on wireless networks.